How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I may be under the weather from CES, but hey, the CES devices are already landing in my office. The first one, the Pantech Burst from AT&T, so special thanks to them for hooking us up with a review unit. Now, this is the first device to come from CES last week, and this thing lands at AT&T on January 22nd for $49.99. That's a mid-range 4G LTE device that reminds me a lot of the Pantech Breakout on Verizon, but it's packing some pretty rockin' specs. A 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, a 4-inch Super AMOLED display, a 5-megapixel camera that shoots video at 720p, so it's definitely nothing to scoff at. Let's take a look at it in the unboxing, but first some love to Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working, and they're going to help you set up your email, your web, all your call settings and more on this Pantech Burst. So when you walk out the door, you're good to go and ready to work at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look at it. Is this the first 4G LTE device that you should consider, you know, if you're a mid-range person upgrading, or should you wait for all the other stuff that's coming from CES? We'll find out starting right now. Here it is, Phone Doggers, the very first CES device to be available on my desk. This is a Pantech Burst, and it's coming to AT&T on January 22nd for $49.99. Now, this thing is a mid-range device, and it's spec'd, you know, pretty well for a mid-range device. It's got a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, a 4-inch Super AMOLED display. It's got 4G LTE connectivity along with every device announced at AT&T's press conference at CES. It's packing Android 2.3.5 with Pantech's UI, a 5-megapixel camera with 720p HD video recording, and then a 2-megapixel front-facing shooter as well, along with a 1,650 milliamp hour battery. Now, out of the box, you get quick start and safety and warranty guide, and actually this is pretty cool as well. You know, the Pantech Element was the device, was a tablet that was announced alongside the Pantech Burst. If you buy both of these at AT&T and you sign a 2-year contract on both, you can get them for $249.99 instead of paying $49 for this and $299 for the tablets. That's a pretty decent deal there as well. So out of the box, you get the typical AC adapter module here, and special thanks to AT&T for hooking us up so quickly with a review unit. Nice to get this in before the January 22nd launch date. So you can see here an AC adapter module, excuse me, under the weather, post-CES cold, if you will. And then over here you can see your USB cable. Typical stuff out of the box. Pretty big USB cable, actually. It's a pretty thick one. And then you see the battery doors here as well, and then the 1,650 milliamp hour battery down here in the box. SIM card pre-installed for us. Again, thanks AT&T for that. And you know, 4-inch display I've often said is a nice little sweet spot between too big and too small. So for those that are coming into a smartphone maybe for the first time, or migrating up from maybe the iPhone 3GS or something like that, this may be a nice little upgrade for them. I'm not going to worry about that sticker. We're going to go ahead and put this on and get this popped in. Let's try this. And bam, there we go. Now, like I said, Android 2.3.5 here. You do get Pantech's custom user interface. So you'll see, you know, and this device reminds me a lot of the Pantech Breakout on Verizon. You know, 4G LTE connectivity on AT&T in this case, but still a relatively inexpensive price point. I mean, and a pretty decent smartphone for $50. I mean, to get a dual-core processor, to get a 4-inch Super AMOLED display, to get, you know, a 5-megapixel camera that shoots video at 720p, that's pretty impressive specs for $50. So, and a 1,650 milliamp hour battery that I thought might not be charged, but it is, so that's good. And then it looks like the battery door. Let's see if we can get that closed up a little bit better. So you can see over here, excuse me, you got your Chrome on the side, you got your volume rocker over here, you got your micro USB charging port over here, you got your power button and 3.5mm headphone jack on top, and then you got your capacitive buttons down here. You have menu, home, back, and search. So AT&T logo popping up, and again, yeah, you're welcome, or welcome to Pantech. Go ahead and get through this pretty quickly. We're going to say next. Yeah, we're going to keep nexting all this. And then, of course, you can see the Pantech customizations here. Let me go ahead and clean this screen off so we you don't deal with my crazy fingerprints over here. But you can see it out of the box. Pretty quick and easy to set up. It looks like it's still finding a wireless connection now, but you can really see the Pantech user interface here in the bottom. You can see you've got a call, a message, a web browsing icon, and then your menu for your full list of apps here. And you can see blah, blah, blah. See out of the box. Wow, that was really a tongue twister there. I'm going to chalk that up to the cold. Anyway, AT&T code scanner, AT&T family map, AT&T navigator. I'm actually going to leave that in here because I just want you to see how dumb that actually sounded. Anyway, converter, you've got clock tool, so some Pantech stuff as well, document viewer, you've got Facebook featured apps, flash player settings, you've got movies, messaging as well, which is, you know, a typical application, but you can see that it's been customized by Pantech's little icon there. My AT&T out of the box. and then you get quick light and voice memo and a couple of other things. Now let's see if the AT&T stuff can be uninstalled. They're usually pretty good about allowing that stuff to be uninstalled, at least on past AT&T devices. And you know, being that this is the first one from CES, let's take a look. And you can uninstall that, which is nice, and then live TV. So if you don't want these AT&T applications, they do give you the option to uninstall. But you've got 7 home screens here, and you know, I'll say it's definitely a cheaper feeling device. I mean, you can tell this thing is not the highest of the highest end. I mean, it's not a you know, a Skyrocket HD or anything like that. You know, some of the other devices that were announced, the Titan 2 or anything of that nature. But it's definitely, you know, it feels good in the hand. This 4-inch display gives it a nice feel. It seems to be a nice sweet spot. You've got your 2-megapixel front-facing camera there as well, and it's relatively fast to boot, you know, so that 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor really doing its job. So let's see, out of the box you get Android keyboard and swipe, since this does have Gingerbread pre-installed. So we'll say something like the quick brown rumor dog. You like how 3 there? Rumor dog is happy to be back from Vegas. The quick brown rumor dog is happy to be back from Vegas. Apparently the rumor dog didn't get sick. I don't know why. I get sick every year when I come back from CES. It's like I travel the world for work, but it's always Vegas. I don't know if it's the air or what it is, but you can see, you know, again, very quick transitions, and this is a fast device for 50 bucks. This is something that I could recommend to a lot of different people, not just those people that are, you know, kind of just starting out on the smartphone for the first time or migrating up and they don't really care about speed. That's not their primary concern. This is a definitely a decent device for them. And of course, LTE connectivity, although it's not showing up just yet, it's not registering. We're just getting some bars of service without any data. But you can see here in the notifications bar a customization here as well. You can switch from easy setting to a little bit more complicated, and you've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, alarms, and sound shortcuts up there at the top. And then of course I'm not going to be able to connect, but you can just see what it looks like here in terms of the 4-inch display. A pretty reasonably large display here, you know, for if you're doing just casual web browsing. If you're doing, you know, more than casual, if you do a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of web browsing, you may find something like the Galaxy Nexus, the HTC Titan, something of that nature may be a little bit better suited for you. But again, you know, considering where this is targeted, the entry-level smartphone person all the way up to maybe the mid-range, you know, kind of somebody that's had 1 or 2 smartphones but doesn't want something that's incredibly high-end, this is a perfect device for them. And if you take advantage of that tablet deal when both of these devices come out on January 22nd, again, you know, you can save some money. You can get both for $249.99 as opposed to spending $349 if you bought them separately. So I'm all about saving money, and you know, if you're going to do a tablet, yeah, that might be something to consider. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the Pantech Burst. So keep it locked in the site for continuing coverage. Be sure to follow us on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Let me know what you think about this device, and let me know, you know, on a wider scale, if you will, which one was your favorite from CES. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron. Let me know what you think about all these devices that we're going to get from CES in the coming weeks and in the coming months. And hit me up on my personal Facebook page as well, Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. More coverage to come on the Pantech Burst, the first device from CES 2012, minus that voice crack. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.